personnel-wise, over the last 2 weeks, a lot of players have been coming back. What is the kind of fitness level expectation? There was a short bench last week, going into this game.
Yeah, we've been trying to, recover as many players as possible. Nothing big last 2 weeks, but also with the international break, a lot of players were gone with, with the national teams, and we were prioritizing also the rest, recovery, so try to have the best availability as possible for for the playoffs, and yeah, we are in a good spot. So we've been, I think, managing really good the training, recovery, loads, and right now we had just the last training session today. We need to see where the players are, but I think we are great.
I saw Deb and Trinity were in part of the second half of training today. What's their availability ahead of weekend?
We still need to discuss it because, as I was saying now, we just ended the training session, then we have the meeting with the medical and performance staff, but they are recovering. I mean, they are in a good spot. They are following and checking, the the progression that they have to, and yeah, it's positive that they are in a good moment, but as we always say, we are just day by day and seeing how they are, and obviously we need to take the best decision as possible for her and for them.
Do you have a, not to press you, but do you have a label even of an idea of is Trinity even questionable? I mean, you said day to day, this, you're just waiting for the medical staff.
We need to discuss that later this afternoon.
Okay.
The only thing with Trini is that she's been doing great. Positive that I think she's checking those boxes, and she's in a good spot mentally, and obviously physically she's improving, and she's doing a great job. Very, committed with her recovery, doing as much as possible to be in the best spot as possible, and yeah, we are optimistic, and she's doing good.
Just from a coaching perspective, like as you prep for a big game, you're trying to figure out where she fits in, it's 24 hours
Mhm.
out. Especially a game where you might have to consider extra time, where you might put a player in for a late game impact, but then that game might extend. Like, how are you managing that specifically?
Well, we always prepare the games in the same way, trying to have different scenarios that can happen. Obviously, we have our game plan, and then things that you cannot control. You can. I don't like wasting too much energy in things that you cannot control.
Mhm.
Obviously, we always have like more than one plan, and then whatever is happening in that moment, you just adjust it according to what is happening in that moment, and also what you feel in that moment. So yeah, you can anticipate, but at the end of the day, or personally, I decide a lot of things, in that moment when I see how the players are, how the opponent, the feeling, and I take decisions there.
Obviously, when you're playing a team like Racing Louisville, the first time they're in the playoffs, how do you take that into consideration? Someone with maybe less experience at that stage, but also that could be something that also motivates them to play well. So kind of how do you balance that going into the postseason?
Well, I think a playoff game is a playoff game. I mean, we've seen in this league that any team can beat any team. So I don't like when people think that one team is better than the other, or maybe you have more chances to win because of the table. So I don't believe that, to be honest. And for me, we are seeing that every week in this league, and now in a playoff game, anything can happen. So I think we all start with the same, like possibilities. It's a 50-50. It's just one game. Obviously, they are gonna be motivated because it's their first time, and I think it's a good opportunity for them to be there, and they deserve it, to be honest. But also, we have other type of motivation. So playing at home, we wanna be, again, uh, in semifinals. I think we've done a great job also during the season, and we have the opportunity now to live again an experience like this, and we all are gonna have motivation.
Adrián, ¿qué significa tener la ventaja de jugar los partidos durante los playoffs en casa y la importancia de la afición del Spirit para estos partidos importantes?
Pues al final es una motivación extra, y también yo creo que es una ventaja porque ya lo vimos el año pasado lo que significa jugar en Audi Field y unos playoffs, la gente estamos seguros de que va a responder, que van a venir a animar y se genera un ambiente pues creo que muy bonito, de muchísimas emociones y tenemos una conexión muy potente creo que con nuestra afición y evidentemente que es algo que nosotros queremos tenerlo como ventaja y también para brindarles a nuestra afición un buen partido.
Adrián, ¿cómo ha cambiado la mentalidad o la preparación del equipo quizás comparado a la temporada regular ahora entrando a la postemporada?
Sinceramente, igual. Creo que tenemos un equipo bastante estable a nivel mental, emocional y siempre preparamos los partidos igual. Independientemente si es un partido, ya te digo, contra un rival que está a lo mejor más arriba en la clasificación, más abajo, con CACAF, en liga regular y ahora playoffs. Siempre hay un extra de motivación en playoffs, pero al final la dinámica es la misma. La semana es la misma, la preparación, y creo que eso también te da una cierta estabilidad como equipo para, dentro de que sabemos que no es una semana normal, intentar normalizarla lo máximo posible.
Anything else in the room?
Um, yeah. I mean, last year, it feels like a lot similar to last year in a way, with the number 2 seed, you've got that opportunity at home, as you were just talking about.
Mm.
Even looking at like the season as a whole, some changes for you and the coaching staff
Mhm.
last year, this year. Have you taken anything from last year that you can apply to this year in terms of maybe whether it's yourself on the coaching front or what the players need, or does it feel like a totally different situation?
I think it's completely different, but obviously all the experiences will help the team. Like we have players that already played a final or a playoffs. Players I don't know that also have played international games with a lot of pressure and big crowds and stuff like that. So I think we have a roster where we know the meaning of these types of games and we have a lot of players with experience. And me personally is like being grateful to have the opportunity again to play a playoff. Obviously, I'm more experienced because I lived that last season, but the situation is different. I think the team is different. We are, I think, in a different momentum, and we have different players, so the connections are different. But obviously, I always like learning, from all the experiences. So I'm sure that we will have that in our mind, in our bag. But at the end of the day, it's a new situation.
Ah, pregunta, ¿cómo para algunas jugadoras como Rebeca Bernal y Kif Monde, estos va a ser su primer partido de postemporada en la NWSL? ¿Le has dado algún tipo de consejo a ellas para cómo sobrellevar estos partidos, este tipo de partidos?
Pues la verdad que no, porque a Rebe yo creo que no le tengo que, que enseñar nada, lo decía, y Gibbs también, al final Gibbs quizá no ha tenido tantos partidos ¿no? de este nivel, pero son jugadoras que están preparadas. Al final el mensaje para todo el equipo ha sido el mismo, de intentar normalizar la semana, de intentar sobre todo tener muy buen ambiente durante la semana entre nosotras, de ir a las cosas básicas que siempre hemos hecho, a no hacer nada nuevo o diferente y luego sobre todo que compitieran mucho entre ellas durante la semana y lo han hecho la verdad que genial. Entonces, bueno, ya te digo, son jugadoras que ya tienen experiencia a lo mejor no aquí, en un playoff de la liga, pero Rebe, por ejemplo, ha jugado partidos con México de muchísima, pues eso, de muchísimo nivel, con muchísima gente, con muchísima presión, ha jugado, pues eso, partidos que pueden ser parecidos a lo que se va a encontrar. Y GIF, bueno, aunque a lo mejor no tanto, pero estoy seguro de que mañana irá bien, porque al final no deja de ser un partido en casa con tu gente y bueno, siempre hay esa motivación extra.
All right, we'll take a few from Zoom. If you have a question on Zoom, please raise your hand. Damon, you can unmute.
Hey, Coach. Damon Brooks Jr. from Monumental Sports Network. Coach, what kind of environment are you expecting tomorrow at Audi Field? Obviously, you all have sold out the arena, multiple times, but what kind of environment does that provide for your players? Obviously, when, the stakes are high, as is the quarterfinals tomorrow.
Well, I hope that we can have another sold out. But yeah, a great environment, obviously, with our fans just helping us, pushing us, and supporting us as always. And yeah, the only, thing that I have in mind is just try to have the best game as possible to bring them joy, a lot of emotions again, and I hope we can have a good performance for them because they deserve it. They've been always there during the whole season and last season too. And I think, having the opportunity to play at home, it's a great opportunity and a great gift for them. So this is what we want to do tomorrow.
Coach, obviously you all won one game and obviously you tied one game. Can those games help you with preparing for the game tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. Every game helps you. It doesn't matter the result if you win, lose, or tie. I think as a team, we always try to find a learning behind each situation. It doesn't matter if you play at home, away, the results. So we are a team who loves learning, and yeah, we always try to get the learning behind. So I'm sure every week is different, every situation is different, and right now it's a new episode. So what happened last week, this is gonna be a completely different thing, and last 2 weeks, I mean, it's a completely different scenario. We are all together. Last 2 weeks, for example, we had probably half of the roster gone with the international team. So this week we've been together, and you feel that it's completely different. The environment, the trainings, the vibe. So yeah, we are more than prepared to start the playoffs.
Thank you.
Marissa, you can go ahead.
Hi, Adrián. Thanks for speaking with us today. Um, Obviously, you focused a lot this season on being able to play and move in spaces. And last week in Utah, we didn't seem like we saw too much of that and goal scoring opportunities. Do you feel like you've kind of had that breakthrough with that in training this week as far as going ahead tomorrow against Racing?
No, as I was saying, this week the preparation has been different because the game is different. So we've been trying to just um, have a normal week. Obviously, analyzing the opponent, we know the type of team that we are going to face tomorrow, which strengths they have, things that maybe we identify as some weaknesses that we can take advantage, and try to go to our basic things, our principles. And last week was a completely different situation with not many players, trying to prioritize also other things, and this week is a completely different thing as always.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Adrián.
Thank you.
Go to Annie.
Hi, Adrián. Thank you also for speaking with us. I wanted to ask about Racing Louisville. Obviously, they play very differently from other teams in the league, and we saw in their last game against the Spirit, they can be really good at kind of interrupting game flow and changing your game plan. What do
Mhm.
you see as some of their biggest threats to the team?
Thank you for asking that. I love when we talk about soccer. Yeah, I think they've done a great job, especially identifying the players, the profiles that they have, trying to find the way to get performance, to optimize their performance. I think also Beb has done a great job. They are very dangerous in transitions. They have many threats, especially to run behind. We know how fast Sears is. Also inside with Flynn or Borges, if they have time, they don't need to play, like too many passes to try to find the space behind. So we need to be very aware on that, trying to be very aggressive when we press, not allowing them to play easy. Um, I think also last game we were too stretched. The distances were for me so long, so that allows them to have more space to run. So we want to be closer to each other to avoid that, and also just in case we lose the ball, try to win it back as soon as possible. So that's gonna be linked also the way that we want to attack. I think we need to reduce the distances to find short passes, trying to avoid like easy mistakes, and obviously try to disorganize them, because if not, again, it is a team that they are doing really good, especially with those long balls. Second balls are gonna be key too. And yeah, if you concede them space, they are dangerous. So we need to try to avoid that, reducing the spaces as much as possible.
Thank you.
We'll take one more on Zoom, Luis.
Buenas tardes, coach. Luis Rodríguez por acá de la línea podcast. Yo sé que falta el juego más importante de toda la temporada, que es este que va a suceder mañana. Pero si me fuera a dar un análisis de lo que fue esta temporada completa por la Washington Spirit, ¿cómo sería?
Buena pregunta, Luis. Pues te diría que ha sido, creo, que una temporada de muchísimo aprendizaje, con muchísimas, bueno, situaciones cambiantes, donde ha habido, creo que, muchos cambios dentro del equipo, donde el equipo ha evolucionado muchísimo a nivel, sobre todo, de juego, de adaptarse a cualquier cosa que estaba pasando en ese momento. Hemos tenido que hacer cambios, hemos tenido lesiones, hemos tenido cambios de entrenador, y creo que el equipo ha respondido de una forma maravillosa. A partir de ahí creo que también hemos mejorado muchísimo en ser un equipo más dinámico, donde hay jugadoras que ya lo hemos visto, ¿no? Que pueden participar en diferentes posiciones, un equipo también muy versátil, que ataca y defiende de diferentes maneras. Y creo que ha habido un aprendizaje, pues eso, a nivel colectivo muy, muy grande, y luego también a nivel individual las sensaciones de que las jugadoras todas han mejorado y están ahora mismo en un nivel más alto.
Muchas gracias, coach. Nos vemos mañana.
A ti.
Just jumping off your previous answer there on the tactical side. I mean, MSCers, I think people see the goals, but I'm wondering what you've seen from Taylor Flint, from them in the midfield, and how much are you trying to account for, the obvious of her
Yeah.
height, whether it's open play or from set pieces.
I think you can get obsessed trying to win the 50-50 against her. And I think you are going to waste a lot of energy there. So I think it's more about the second balls, because at the end of the day, she's so powerful, and in the air, I don't think a lot of players can beat her. But I think, as I was saying, you need to be very close, and try to identify those second balls, the angles, the trajectories, where the ball is gonna be. And if we are able to have players around her, and if we are able to win those second balls, I think from there we can stop their transitions. Again, because if she wins the 50-50 of the second ball, maybe in 1-2 passes, we know that they're gonna try to find Sears or Fisher or whoever is in front. So again, it's more about being compact, winning those second balls, or in case we lose the ball, try to contra press as quick as possible to avoid those transitions.
Everyone good? All right. Thanks, Andre.
We have Andre here. Andre.
Go ahead, Andre.
Hey, Adrián, thanks for speaking with us. Yeah, I actually just wanted to ask about Louisville as well. When you took over as head coach, one of the things that you talk about in the NWSL is when games get broken, and it feels like that's something that Louisville loves to do, whether it's transition or set pieces or tactical fouling, something they like to kind of break the game a bit. How do you game plan against that when they can do it in so many different ways and they're very good at it?
Absolutely. So try to learn from the past. I think we had a game against them, and we saw that. If you give them what they want, so it's gonna be a 50-50, and I think they are really good doing that. So try to avoid that as much as possible. I think it's gonna be a matter of distances. So if we are too stretched, the back line with forwards, if we concede a lot of spaces inside, they're gonna have more time to win those second balls, to think, to play those long balls. So again, when we are attacking, we need to be very compact, reducing the distances as much as possible, having a really good rest defense. And when we lose the ball, we need to be very aggressive. In those 5 seconds, where the ball is, try to win it back as soon as possible, and also prioritizing that sometimes you need to drop, because if you just press and you concede spaces and they have time, they are gonna put balls behind. So it's about identifying those situations. But again, I think it's going to be a matter of distances. If we find the way to be close to each other, I think we can reduce those situations.
I appreciate that. And also from like a being able to attack Louisville perspective. Since the break, they've also given up quite a lot of expected goals per game. So you should have opportunities in this game. So how much importance does that put on players like maybe Croy Bethune and Lacey Santos to be able to find the right pass, find the right moment to get behind their defense?
Yeah, obviously not just Lacey and Croy, all of us. I think we are a team. One of the strengths that we have is that we can score, in a different ways, and also a lot of players have scored. So we need to identify those situations. It is a team that also I think they've improved a lot in terms of pressing, jumping, being very aggressive. Sometimes like in a 1v1 situation. So we need to identify those situations and how to progress under pressure, because I'm sure that they are not going to concede us too much time. But at the same time, we need to identify those spaces and yeah, how we can exploit those, because I think also we have players with a good pace to run behind, different ways to attack also through the middle. We have also players in a 1v1 situation that can be dangerous outside. So as I always say, so try to identify if we can progress much better inside, outside, exploring, the back line. But I think we are going to have spaces and yeah, let's see if we can make it.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.